Welcome back to our channel where we share updates and untold stories about. The heartbreaking news has sent shockwaves through the TLC community. One of the beloved stars of 1,000 Pounds, Sisters, has tragically passed away following a grueling battle with cancer. Known for their humor, raw honesty, and inspirational resilience, their story became one of the most emotional journeys ever documented on reality television. Now, as fans, friends, and family mourn the loss, the world reflects on their courage, the impact they made on millions, and the lessons they left behind. What follows is a creative, in-depth exploration of their life, struggles, triumphs, and the bittersweet legacy that remains. The rise to fame, reality TV's unlikely hero. When 1,000 Pounds, Sisters first aired in January 2020, few expected the show to become a cultural phenomenon. The series, centered on Tammy and Amy Slayton's journeys through obesity, family conflict, and the quest for health, quickly struck a chord with audiences. The star, who has now passed away, was never meant to be a celebrity in the traditional sense. They were raw, unfiltered, and brutally honest about their struggles with food, mental health, and self-worth. Instead of polished Instagram perfection, they gave viewers a mirror into the reality of morbid obesity, the laughter, the pain, the frustration, and the small daily victories that most people take for granted. From the very beginning, their personality leapt off the screen. Fans connected instantly, not just because of their struggles, but because of their humanity. The shadow of cancer. For years, the Slayton family's struggles were centered around weight loss, surgeries, and food addiction. But then came the news no one expected: a cancer diagnosis. The journey through cancer was unlike anything viewers had witnessed on the show before. Surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, the reality of fighting for life went far beyond numbers on a scale. While weight loss was already an uphill battle, cancer introduced an entirely new mountain to climb. Despite the diagnosis, they refused to give up. Fans followed closely as updates trickled out, sometimes hopeful, sometimes devastating. Social media became both a lifeline and a battlefield. Messages of support poured in from around the globe, while the star themselves used their platform to raise awareness about early screenings, self-advocacy in the medical system, and the importance of never ignoring symptoms. A personality larger than life. Even as cancer spread, their sense of humor never wavered. On screen and off, they cracked jokes, made light of their situation, and turned pain into laughter. "If I can laugh, I can live another day," they once told a fan during a live Q&A. That was the essence of their appeal. They weren't defined by illness. They weren't defined by obesity. They weren't even defined by reality TV. They were defined by spirit, stubborn, fiery, loving, sometimes messy, always real. In moments of weakness, their resilience shone brightest. They shared videos of themselves dancing in hospital gowns, singing along to old country songs, and teasing nurses with playful sarcasm. This was not a story of defeat, but of dignity in the face of suffering. Family bonds and fractures. The Slayton family dynamic was always complicated. Sibling rivalries, deep-rooted traumas, and unspoken resentments often boiled over on screen. Yet, behind the arguments was a love that could not be broken. During the cancer battle, those bonds grew stronger. Amy, who had her hands full raising her two young sons, still found time to sit by their bedside. Amanda, tough and outspoken, became a rock, balancing brutal honesty with fierce protection. Chris, often the peacemaker, offered wisdom and encouragement in quiet moments. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The cancer battle, in many ways, healed old wounds. Conversations that had once ended in shouting now ended in tears, apologies, and long hugs. The families shared grief, fear, and hope brought them closer than ever before. The final days. According to close family sources, the last weeks were both heartbreaking and beautiful. Surrounded by loved ones, they spent time reflecting on life, cracking jokes, and making peace with what was coming. Hospice nurses noted that their strength was extraordinary. Despite pain and exhaustion, they always insisted on checking in on others before speaking about themselves. "How you doing, baby?" was often their first question to anyone who walked into the room. As the end drew near, they reportedly told their siblings, "Don't cry too hard for me. I lived more in these last few years than I ever did before TV. The world finally saw me, the real me. That's all I ever wanted." They passed peacefully in their sleep, holding the hand of a family member. Fan reactions, a global mourning. The news of their passing spread quickly, and within hours, social media exploded with tributes. Hashtags honoring their name trended across Twitter and TikTok. Fans shared favorite clips, from hilarious one-liners to tear-jerking confessions. "I felt like I knew them," one fan wrote on Reddit. "They showed us the ugliest, hardest parts of life, and in doing that, they made me feel less alone." Another fan tweeted, "They weren't perfect, and that's why I love them. They were real. Rest easy, Queen." Even TLC issued a rare statement. "We are deeply saddened by the loss of one of our 1,000 pounds, sister stars. Their journey touched millions, and their courage will never be forgotten. A legacy that lives on. Though their life was cut tragically short, their impact will ripple for years." Their openness about obesity, mental health, and now cancer awareness changed conversations in living rooms across the world. Advocacy groups have already begun discussing scholarships and memorial funds in their honor. Some fans are pushing for TLC to release a special tribute episode, compiling their funniest and most inspiring moments. But perhaps the greatest legacy lies within the family. Inspired by their battle, other Slayton siblings have recommitted themselves to healthier living. Amy has vowed to raise her children with the lessons learned from their late relative. Never give up on yourself, no matter how many times you fall. Reflections, the human story behind the cameras. In the end, 1,000 pounds, Sisters was never really about weight. It was about survival, love, family, and the fight to become the best version of yourself in the face of overwhelming obstacles. The star we lost embodied that fight. They didn't always win. They stumbled. They lashed out. They doubted themselves. But they always got back up, and that resilience inspired millions. Their cancer journey, while devastating, offered the world one last chance to learn from them. To cherish time. To fight harder. To laugh even when it hurts. Conclusion: saying goodbye. As fans, it is easy to feel grief-stricken at the loss. But to honor their memory is to live as they did, unapologetically, fiercely, and with humor, even in the darkest times. They may be gone, but they will never be forgotten. In reruns, in viral TikToks, in the hearts of family, and in the countless lives they touched, their voice lives on. Rest in peace, star of 1,000 pounds, sisters. You gave the world your truth, and in return, the world will carry your story forever. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.